Hi guys, my name is Courtney Callaway and I'm an LPC with Lifeology. And today I wanted to talk to you about grief and disenfranchised grief. So, with everything that's going on right now as a society, we are experiencing a lot of loss, change, and transition, which means we have a whole lot of grief going on. So grief is described as the natural and normal reaction to a loss or change of any kind. And disenfranchised grief is described as grief that is not acknowledged by society. So I'll give you some examples. So disenfranchised grief would include the loss of a job, infertility, the loss of a pet, the loss of a timeline, the loss of a work environment, loss of a lifestyle. So as you can see, we have a lot of that going on in the world. And so I also wanted to explain what that can look like. So grief affects us physically, emotionally, psychologically, behaviorally, and socially. Pretty much across the board. Now some things you can expect, or I'll give you a list of some things that a lot of people report to me are sadness, anxiety, irritability, fatigue, loss of interest in things that they once enjoyed, sleeping issues, headaches, wanting to withdraw. So that's kind of a general list. There's a whole lot more because grief is really unique and individual. Now, with that, I want to go over 3 things that I would recommend if you feel that you are experiencing grief. The first being to acknowledge the loss. All losses, big and small, are real and valid. So first things first, like, hey, that's a loss. I might need to grieve that. Number 2, once we acknowledge the loss, we can open space to sit with the grief and experience it. Now this part gets even more individualized and that looks different for each person. So I would recommend creating your own ritual to process your grief. That can look like writing a letter, journaling, channeling it into art. Maybe it's going to a safe space and letting yourself feel the feelings. This is where it really is about what works for you. It could also include talking to someone. Some people are more external grief processors. And that also leads me into my third point that I would recommend, which is assess and connect with whoever is in your support system right now. You know, we all are experiencing loss, change, and transition. So reach out to who you trust, connect, validate, and help support one another, because grief is universal and we really need each other right now.